Welcome to Campfire Wisdom. Grab a seat around the fire and tell us your story.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Campfire Wisdom. Yeah, how you guys been? It's been a little bit. Last time we spoke, I actually had recorded the episode a few days before going out of town for New Year's and ended up releasing the episode picking a tent on the 1st, and I was just dying. I had gone up north to Sacramento to visit my girlfriend's family up there. And of course, the day before New Year's Eve, I just got violently ill, just like a cold flu. I don't know what it was, but it just knocked me on my ass and just really like sapped all the energy out of me. I was trying to just like, man up and be personable and everything. We actually did an escape room like in the midst of like me having like a fever and feeling like shit. And I was just trying to be like cordial amongst humans. I felt so subhuman. I felt like I couldn't even really communicate or like even just smiling and like making joyful, just relaxing conversation was very difficult. So I was like, oh my God, I can't possibly be sick. I actually had to fly back on the 1st and I had to work, and I didn't want to be that guy that calls in. So I was like, I have to get better. So I was just on a mission to get better. I think that night I didn't even, I ended up sweating myself to death in bed and just waking up drenched, but drinking tons of water. But anyways, make a long story short, I managed to rise from the ashes like the great phoenix, and I survived the last 5 days. Today was actually the first day off since I had been ill. And it's like one of those times when you feel good and when you've been feeling bad long enough and you feel great, you're like, oh, I'm back to 100%. And I shouldn't say that. I'm actually back to about 90%. So the fact that I'm even back to 90% is fantastic. I'm loving it. I'm feeling amazing. And it's like gives you, I don't know, for me, it puts things in perspective, because when I feel like shit, I'm like, oh God, if I only could feel better, then I would do this, and then I would go outside, or I would do this. And the simple things that you can't do when you feel like shit, you're like, just want to be able to do. So today I was able to meet with a buddy of mine who I hadn't seen in a little bit. And we kind of went up north in the mountains and just kind of scouted we're like prospecting some land out in the Crestline area. So just kind of getting a glimpse of what's going on up there. There's some cool lots that are not too crazy as far as like pricing, and just kind of cool. So more about that later. But I don't get sick often, but when I do, it absolutely knocks me on my ass. And so it makes me wonder if I'm like bit by the superbug. I like to think that I'm like so indestructible that the bug that takes me down is one of those superbugs. Again, I don't know. I don't think I'm a sissy. I'm a pretty tough dude, but at the same time, when I'm not feeling well, it's just like so visibly obvious to those around me. So I'm surprised I made it through, but put on a happy face and was able to do what I had to do. So I'm glad to be back. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, last week was fantastic. We were able to talk quite a bit about tents, and I got a lot of really good feedback from everybody about that. So I think there's a lot of people who are kind of in that realm of trying to figure out what a good decision is to make along those lines. So hopefully that really helped you guys out. One of the other sides about coming out of the tunnel, so to speak, as far as health, is when you're feeling bad, you have a lot of time to think about the things that you need to handle. And you're like, okay, I got to handle that, got to handle this. So in that time and coming out of it, I feel like I'm more productive. I don't know, that sounds crazy. I guess it maybe means that maybe I'm squandering that time normally when I'm feeling good. So definitely always something to be looking at and reflecting on, especially as we're diving into the new year. But this week was somewhat of a week of accomplishment. I was handling some things like, proud to say I was able to get insurance and health benefits at my new employer. So that's fantastic. So, you tend to feel like a grown-up when you realize that you are no longer going to have to rely on the well-being of the government to take care of you should something, let's say a tree fall on me. I don't know, something like that. But so that's cool. Able to stand on my own a little bit more there. That's cool. But then again, like I said, just little things like fixing. We had this vent fan in our bathroom that had fallen randomly. So fixing that, and again, going out and handling some of the things, looking at some property stuff that I wanted to look at up north in the mountains up there. Really, really kind of fun. And also found this really awesome new campsite. And I saved it on my phone here. Hold on a sec. Bear with me as I dive into my technology. I know we're all about trying to step away from it, but I actually pin dropped it because I was like, this site is dope. Where the hell is it? We were up north up there. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. So it's maybe I shouldn't tell you guys. Huh. No, that would be uncool. No, it's pretty badass. And honestly, there's something to be said about sharing cool spots because I want more people to camp, and I think more people getting outside is going to be a positive thing. There's always that fine line between you wanting to reveal your secret special site and wanting to get more people out. So this is one of those sites where I'm going to share with you because I think it's pretty dope. In the middle of summer, it's probably not someplace you want to go, but right now we were out there probably about 8:30 in the morning. It was like cool. It was crisp. There's plenty of space. It was called Mojave River Forks Regional Park, and I think it's Juniper. Marked it Juniper something. Anyways, there's a group campsite out there called Juniper Springs. I think that's what it's called, but it's a group site. I'm going to try to create something there the weekend of January 20th. So if you're listening to this, earmark that day. I actually have that Saturday off, and we're going to try to do something out there. It'll be kind of cool. So I'm sure you'll be hearing more about it. If you don't hear about it and you're listening to this, that means you're a badass and you're dope and I like you. So please hit me up. Let's get together. The more the merrier. I know sometimes it's nice to have that intimate camping. Other times it's nice to get a group together. This particular spot, we could do some really fun things. We could set up, I don't want to, say too much, but let's just say there's a lot of room for extracurricular activities. We can set up slackline so we can I know I can teach a little bit, some of you guys how to slackline, which is a lot of fun. I get a lot of kicks out of that. We could set up an archery range. So there was definitely not a lot of people out there, and we could make it safe. So obviously we would be of the utmost in safety precautions to make sure no one gets hurt. But there is plenty of room out there, so we can do that and have a lot of fun. So maybe we could even do like these, I don't know, quasi winter Olympics out at this site. So there'll be more to come on that, but really cool to kind of check that out and discover that. So the last thing I wanted to kind of talk a little bit about today is an essential tool that you're going to want to have when you're going camping. And it has become, for me, something that I carry all the time. And the name of it is appropriately kind of describes what it is. So it's called an EDC. It stands for everyday carry. So basically, it's a pocket knife. It's a knife you're going to put in your pocket. You can carry with you. It's going to help you out. Maybe it's going to cut open a box or apply leverage or whatever you might use it for. But generally, I just have it on me all the time. I like the fact that if I need to cut something, which you'd be surprised how often you need to cut something. It's kind of amazing. But you don't have to carry it every single day. I just do because I like having it, and it's proven handy on so many occasions. But when you're out camping, you're always going to need something that if maybe it's some food you're trying to cut, maybe it's something you're trying to get tied up and you need to cut the end of the string off. Sometimes you're going to cook on the fire with it. It makes a great tool if you're trying to move some sausages or pieces of meat or whatever it is you're cooking on there, tortillas, corn, you name it. An EDC knife is going to get the job done. So there's a lot of really good brands out there, and I've hit up a couple of the manufacturers asking, hey, what do you recommend as far as, a good spot to go? And generally, believe it or not, they're like, yeah, you should find like a retailer. I know that there's a lot of stores that sell, but personally, I tend to like what you can get over at Bass Pro. Bass Pro Shops has just a ton of different options. You can just see them all right there. I actually happened to go today, and they had no knives. They got absolutely cleaned out for the holiday. So I showed him what I carry, and I personally, I love Kershaw. I think Kershaw makes the best knives. They're smooth, the action's great, they're clean, they got a really distinct look to it, and the quality is amazing. So Kershaw, check them out. But so Kershaw makes these just essentially assisted opening. So you know hit it slightly and it just kind of swings open. It's not like a switchblade or anything, but it's a little bit faster. And if you're trying to get it out one-handed, it makes it easy. The particular model I have is the Blur. The Blur is nice because it's got the serrated edges inside of it, so you can cut like a seatbelt. And I know it's going to sound crazy, but I have an absolutely irrational fear of getting caught in a car when it's sinking to the bottom of the ocean or a lake. So with this particular Blur, it's got a carbide tip on the end of it, and that serrated edge of the blade, which will actually cut a seatbelt. So I could cut my seatbelt and punch out the glass in a pinch if I needed to escape the vehicle. So check out Kershaw. Kershaw makes a great blade, good stuff. I'd go to Bass Pro, check it out. But the reason why you want the EDC, besides what I already described, is let's say you're in a tent and you need to get out of it quick. You could cut your tent real quick and get out of it. Usually I recommend a tent that's got 2 doors. We already had that conversation, but if you don't, you've got a quick escape. Second off, if you're just, something for protection, it doesn't hurt to have a knife with you if you're out in the wild and, never know. So again, look for something that I would recommend a folding blade. So you're not going to be carrying something that's huge that you have to have on your waist with a scabbard or something like that. Something you can just kind of clip inside of your pants or your jeans or whatever. But I think most of you guys will agree it's kind of nice to have something like that. And for those of you who already carry a knife, I got a funny story. I was at work and I found this knife, and it was an SOG knife. The knife is just dope. For those, I don't know if they call it SOG or SOG or whatever, but I was like, oh my gosh, this knife is sick. It was brand new. It looked like just really pristine. And I happened to think immediately, I was like, I bet you this is so-and-so's knife. And this is one of the guys I work with. And, you start to get to know each other at work, and their personality comes through on their knife. I was like, I bet you that's just his knife. This is a tactical knife. This is like legit. This is sturdy. And sure enough, I grab it and I walk back and I'm like, hey, yo, is this your knife? And he's like, oh, dude, thanks so much. I was looking for it. And it's funny when you have an EDC and you find a blade that you really like and you're separated from it, you're like, oh my God, I lost my knife. Oh my God. It's like, if I misplace it or if I don't put it, wear it for the day, sometimes I'll find myself looking around for it like, oh man, did I lose it? Oh, wow, geez, if I lost it, that sucks. And then you go through this scenario in your head, oh man, I just lost my knife. Now I got to replace it. What am I going to do until it arrives? Blah, blah, blah. So anyways, maybe some of you will get to that position at some time. Maybe some of you are already there, but I'm sure you understand that having an EDC and having to be able to rely on that is kind of a nice thing. So that is my 2 cents on having a blade. You can keep it in your camping kit. You can keep it in your bug out bag. We'll talk about a bug out bag down the road here. Or you can maybe just, keep it in your jean pocket and take it wherever you go, like me. Want to thank you guys for stopping by today. It's kind of a short one. Again, just coming back into health, coming back into my feeling 100%. Whoa, not quite 100%. I'm 90%. I'm 92 because I'm getting this done and I'm feeling good. I want to thank you guys for tuning in and for the positive feedback. I'm having a blast doing this and talking with you and sharing my passion for camping. And at the same time, I feel like it's making me more responsible about ensuring I'm doing it and also kind of trying to be a steward to those who are trying to do it more. So hopefully that's coming across. I look forward to camping with some of you guys really soon. Thanks so much for stopping by today and have a great one. Bye-bye. Okay. I'm a liar. One last thing. Sean Cromwell, the guy behind the music here, the song Only in Your Head, which I use for this podcast. Instead of doing the standard outro, I'm going to play for you the song that he shared with me. It's really awesome, and I love it. I hope you do too. Enjoy it. This is Sean Cromwell, One Less Thing.
Well, I took a young doe that'll be my bride. Took a liking the way she looked by my side. But in the silent throes of the metal bed, I learned to love and the things love said. But now she's running round with her bon vivant, who takes her home from the very best restaurant, where he lays her down in the fireside light. Hell, that's one less thing I gotta do them nights. Time rages, but I head too slow. Right out of them cages, mama, and away we go. You can talk all about them thrills you bring, but honey, I'm always looking for one less thing. Yes, I'm always looking for one less thing. Well, we had a couple kids, then we had 3 more. Saw a few crack college and 2 bear war. Well, they all found joy and they all found pain. Yeah, and one found Jesus in an oil stain. And though we had our trials and we had our fights, it's the things not said keep me up most nights. And while there ain't no percentage in keeping score, well, I sometimes wish that we only had 4. Time rages, but I head too slow. Right out of them cages, mama, and away we go. You can talk all about them thrills you bring, but honey, I'm always looking for one less thing. Yes, I'm always looking for one less thing. Well, things may come, yes, and things may go. See, I got this thing about less is more. So more or less, as things come my way, just a whole lot more for to care, mourn or slip away. Well, I dreamt one night I could swim and fly, by the seat of my pants and the question why. When a far-off voice ringing in my head spoke of lies and fears and books not read. Said when the morning comes and you breach the light, put your mind to rest and make all things right. But see, I never did wake that where I lay. Yeah, that was one less thing I had to do that day. Time rages, but I head too slow. Right out of them cages, mama, and away we go. You can talk all about them thrills you bring, honey, I'm always looking for one less thing. Yes, I'm always looking for one less thing. Yes, I'm always looking for one